Hey guys, so today I decided to do a video for all my ladies who work from home, whether that's doing nail services or hair services. The most important thing you can do with that is to have a set of rules or policies for your clients to follow, because if you do work from home, you know how challenging it can be when people I don't know, it's like they almost don't take you seriously just because you work at home, or they think, they can just do you any kind of way, and it's just more lax than going to a salon. So you have to have a set of policies and procedures and make them honor it, because if you don't make people respect you, they won't, so you have to stand for yourself. So what I have here today is basically a list of my policies. And so we're just going to run through it, point by point. And I have a few stories to tell to go with them. So, yeah, this is going to be really funny and really interesting. So, anyway, here are my policies. This is just a copy. And I hope that's close enough for you to see. But the first thing you want to go over is payment. It is very important that you let your people know what forms of payment you accept and how you wish to be paid. So if you only accept cash, you need to let them know I only accept cash, and that's it. If you have a device that accepts debit cards, then let them know that. Basically, just to let them know this is what I accept. And when people come, you know how people do, they show up and then they're like, oh, I only have a little bit of the money, or somebody's got to bring it to me, or, well, I got to go to the store and get change, or go to the ATM. None of that. No. You need to let them know you need to have all of the money when you come, because that's really kind of shady. I don't have time to wait for you and be worried if you're going to come back or not. A lot of people get scammed that way. So let them know that, and they need to have all the money up front. Also, if they even think they might want to add additional services, they need to have extra money for that. If they want to add something to what was already agreed on, they need to be prepared for that, to have the extra money, and also to be prepared to stay late. I had a horror story once. I was braiding this girl's hair, and her mom was there. She sat there the whole time. And then as soon as I was done and I, told her the price, which she already knew, then all of a sudden it's, well, I don't have it all. I can bring it to you Saturday. And I think this was on a Tuesday. So immediately I'm hot, because, it takes like 10 hours to do braids, and I braid really, really nice. And to sit there, and do all of that work, and for her to tell me that she didn't even have all the money, like, that really, really got me boiling. We did not agree to that. I mean, if you had told me, I don't have it all, can you take it Saturday? We need to discuss that beforehand. But she totally just duped me at the end and was like, well, I don't have it all. Can I bring it to you Saturday? And I was pissed. But I mean, like, what can you really do? So I was like, okay. And I'm familiar with her. She wasn't a stranger. So I was just like, okay, whatever. So Saturday comes. She was completely ghost. I didn't see her. I didn't hear from her. Sunday came, I texted her. I'm like, okay, where are you? What's going on? She was like, oh, something happened, blah, blah, blah. I can bring it to you Wednesday. So I was just like, you have got to be kidding me. Like, this is not happening. And then Wednesday came. She hadn't texted me like the first half of the day. She, didn't reach out. So I texted her. I'm like, okay, do I need to come see you? Because, like, this, you're not going to do me like this. I was like, I can't believe you're doing this. And she was like, no, no. She responded back, no, it's not like that. I'm not trying to do you like that. I'm going to bring it over right now. So then when she came, she was, she texted me, I'm downstairs in the car. Can you come get it? And, I live in an apartment building, not on the first floor. And I was like, no, you get out of the car, come and knock on the door and bring me my money. Like, I'm not coming to get it. Like, this isn't fetch, It was just such a nightmare. So she, she paid and everything, and I was like, never again after that. And she knows that she cannot ask me to do anything for her or her child ever again. So you have to, definitely have a policy about your payments and stuff, because that kind of stuff is a nightmare. Then you want to have a policy about people being late and a no-show. So you need to let them know, hey, if you're running late, you need to call me. Let me know you're running late. You stuck in traffic. Call me before, not after. Don't call me at 1:15 when your appointment was at 1 to say, oh, I just left. I'm on my way. Like, no, because you're sitting and waiting for them. You got everything prepared and prepped. That's just kind of not fair. And if this is a new person and they don't know where you live, it's up to them to get directions and figure all of that stuff out and give themselves enough time. Like I said, I think people take for granted when you work from home. They just think, oh, she's there, she's waiting, and that's really rude. And then, like, if they don't call or show up, you need to have a penalty for that. Don't let people disrespect you like that. If they don't call or don't show up, then you need to make them prepay, or they need to pay a deposit, or just don't even book them. If you're like, you know what, nope, never again. Whatever you choose to do, you need to make that plain so that they can know that. And I've had issues with that as well. With one particular person, the appointment is set at a certain time and then they show up 3 hours later. Like, how do you just casually just come like 3 hours later? Who does that? Like, hey, I'm here. No, your appointment was hours ago. Leave. Like, get out of my face. No, we're not doing that. Then cancellations and rescheduling. They need to give you as much notice as possible. Typically in a salon setting, they would ask for 24 hours notice. I think people typically know, what, I'm probably not going to make it. And, they should let you know that in as much time as possible so that you can refill that spot with somebody else or whatever, just so that you don't waste your time. Let's see. The next one. Oh, this is a big one. No kids and no extra people. So how many of you work from home and you make an appointment with somebody and they show up and they've got their best friend and their boyfriend and their sister and their cousin and it's like, this is like a hangout spot. And no, that's not okay. They need to respect your home. That's your home. That's your sanctuary. You don't need to have strangers in there and all these people sitting around looking at your stuff. That's not the way to go. It needs to be just you and them, unless they're getting a service, but because it's distracting, it's really distracting to have other people there. If your client is chattering back and forth with them and they're worried about what's happening on Instagram and all this stuff, it's just really distracting. And then that person's asking a bunch of questions. Well, do you do this? And well, how much is this? And then what is that? And blah, blah, blah. This is not a class. This is not a tutorial. Like, I don't need all the distraction. So definitely, make sure that you have something that says you don't allow extra people, to come in, because that's just no. So yeah. The next thing, you need to be clear about your appointment times. Okay, if you take your time and you do quality work, you need to let them know that, because a lot of people are used to these chop shops and places where they can get in and out really quickly, and or if they're getting their hair done or their braids or whatever, they think it's going to be 2 or 3 people working at once. You need to let them know, this is how long it takes me to do this. Whatever their service is, let them know how long it takes you to do that service. So you can say, okay, your appointment is at such and such time. It'll probably take about an hour, hour and a half, whatever. So that, they're not rushing you. They need to know that you're going to take your time and make sure that they're happy, and you don't want to be rushed, because that's not fun. You want them to be relaxed. If you work from home, make sure the space that you work in is clean and ambient. Make sure, it's nice. You got some aromatherapy or some candles. If you got a TV, put something on the TV that they like to watch. Make it as relaxing as possible, because sometimes they can't get that in a salon. And that's one of the benefits of working from home is, you don't have all the noise, the phones ringing and blow dryers and, other people around talking and stuff like that. It's more of a sanctuary. So definitely try to create that kind of environment for them. So be clear about your appointment times. And then referrals. Everybody loves referrals. Word of mouth is probably one of the best ways to grow your business. But I have a thing about referrals, because sometimes people can recommend folks to you and it's just like, why did you send this person to me? So I have that. I love referrals and I appreciate them, but do not refer people who have a questionable history. They don't show up to stuff. They like to nickel and dime and not pay for stuff. They're difficult, full of drama. Nobody needs that. I don't need that. You don't need that. So definitely, you should put something in there about referrals, because it can be bad. I had a friend once who referred someone who wanted to get braids done. So she, texted me and said, "Is it okay if I give her your number?" I said, "Fine." So we go back and forth about what she wanted. She showed me pictures. We discussed the appointment time. Everything was great. And, I went out and purchased the hair and everything, because I had always confirmed the day before the service. Call or text them, say, "Hey, are we still on for tomorrow at such and such time?" And, if they reply back yes, then you're good. If they change it, whatever. But always confirm the day before. So she confirmed and everything. The next day, she did not show up. So, that was a waste of time, because I had purchased the hair, even though she was going to pay it back. That was included in her service cost. But still, I took a loss because I purchased the hair. I got it prepped. I got up early. I was ready, and she didn't show up. So, right then we're done. I was like, she better not ever text me again. No. And I called my friend. I said, "Well, who is this girl?" She was like, "Oh, this is just somebody that at my job." And I was like, "You know what? I appreciate that you want to send people to me." I said, "But if you don't know them, don't refer anybody to me, because I don't want to be bothered with all of that, with the wishy-washy stuff." So most of the people that I do are friends and friends of friends, or, people's daughters or relatives and stuff like that. But just random people, we're not doing that, because, a lot of people play games. So that's my thing about referrals. And then service guarantee. This is very, very, very important. You have to have a service guarantee. Basically, you're telling your client, communicate exactly to me what it is that you want. If you have pictures, send me pictures, and I might not be able to do it exactly the same, and I'm going to let you know that, and you need to be okay with that, but, because some people, they'll say, "Okay, I want this and I want that," and then you do it and then they don't like it, or they were expecting something else. They had something totally different in their mind. They just need to communicate better, so that you know exactly what it is that they want, and you can tell them whether you can do it or not. So those are basically the points that I wanted to go over. Oh, I had another story about the whole payment thing, and that was a young lady wanted her nails done. She wanted stilettos, medium length stilettos, and I charged $30 for that, and that's just the stilettos. That doesn't include nail art. And so she asked, and I told her that's how much it was, and she was like, "Well, I only have 20 or something like that." And I said, "Okay, well, call me back when you get the other 10." It's not to be mean. It's some part of me kind of felt bad. I was like, well, you could give her a break, but you know what, your rules are your rules and you have to stick to it. Otherwise people are just they're gonna run over you. If you, it's like that saying, if you give a person an inch, they'll take a mile. Or if you let somebody slide, they'll start skateboarding. You know, like, you can't always give people a break. It has to be what it is, because then they may always expect that, you know, or they'll show up the next time, well, I only brought this much, you know, like, no, we're not starting off like that. We're not doing that, especially in the beginning when you're dealing with a new client. You have to set the tone and make them follow your rules, or otherwise it's just going to be a bunch of miscommunication and stuff. So I hope this was helpful. I hope you guys, you know, found this information useful. If you have any questions, let me know. I'm also thinking about doing a video about prices. So if anybody is interested in a video about what you should charge, ideas for prices and things like that, let me know. And if enough people are interested, I will do that. And thanks for watching, you guys. Take care.